very quickly for you guys to have some sort of reference, open up a floor plan so it looks familiar to your day-to-day work. Great, so Revu is a smart and kind of intuitive interface. It utilizes a command bar in the top left-hand side, and what you can find is all the tools and features that you'd like to use across these command bars in the top. So if you click on the markup, it'll bring up all the markup tools, the measurement, it brings up all the measurement tools, etc., and then document form, etc., etc. We have a great feature in Revu called profiles. So profiles, I like to explain, and I promise it doesn't look like me because I have a bit of hair compared to him, but I do have a blue shirt on today. Can also be used to shape the user interface to how you want it to look and feel. So simple, intuitive, and easy to customize your style of working. We do provide some box set standard versions or options available for you guys. So you don't have to necessarily go and set up your own profile if you want. We can go into an office profile, and as you'll see, it'll actually change the office interface to what I've either set it to or what Revu actually kind of ships it out to you guys with. So I'm just gonna, for this demo, go back to the construction profile. And as I said, being able to change the interface to how you want allows you to have the features that you require to really get you to work. So if I click on this little area here, I can actually turn on and off features in Bluebeam Revu. So if you wanted to set up a profile with just a cloud on here, for example, and a highlighter and a pen, is something you can then do. And within Bluebeam Revu, you can save it, and you can actually import and export these to users, save them in a shared space, or even email these across to people if you wish. Now, tab access on the top left-hand side is one of your good friends in Revu, because it takes you to all the features that Bluebeam Revu allows our customers to use or have access to. So via tab access, what I would firstly like to kind of cover or show you is our file access feature. So before I go to our file access feature, what I'd like to do is show you that not only with the navigation in the top kind of side, there are 3 tabs in Revu. On the left-hand side, the blue handles, right-hand side, that every time you kind of open and close, bring additional features in Bluebeam Revu. And these are features that we will definitely cover at a later stage. We do allow you to open up new tabs, just like Internet Explorer, kind of opening these up side by side, allowing you to even open up a web tab if that's something that you guys are looking to do. My internet is slightly slow today because we have had some issues with the net, but as you'll see, it'll allow you to actually open up a web tab directly through Bluebeam Revu, if that was something, again, you guys are looking to do. Another feature is we actually allow you to split your screens up to 16 times. So with Bluebeam Revu, if you had a workflow where you wanted to compare documents or just check for differences, although we do have features available in Revu for that, you can see that I can have a floor plan open on one side, and I can have a web tab open on another side, and it really allows me to be productive and, again, speed up the work that I'm doing, never having to leave Revu at any stage of my work. Again, closing these down are very easy. Within just one click, just like Internet Explorer, you can close these down. You can close these all down as well if that's something you're looking to do, just with this X down here. So yeah, file tab access. What I'd like to show you is, firstly in the blue handle here, is the tab access feature. And this allows me to quickly navigate through any files that I've been using over and over again, or even through Windows Explorer directly. So every time I've opened up a file in Revu, it'll kind of save it to my recent files. Now these recent files can actually be pinned. So I've got this presentation that we've completed today, so I can actually click pin file, and what you'll see here now is that this PDF file is available for me every time I need to without having to open up Windows Explorer. Again, really, really minimizing the work that you guys are having to do. One click, one bit of access, and you guys are good to go. Another thing is that when I hover over these files, I can actually see a kind of preview, and this is fantastic because sometimes you have multiple files and just by looking at a little preview, you know which file you want. So that's a great feature that our customers really, really love. With your recent files, because in the work that we do as a contractor or in the construction industry, we have multiple files. So you can actually filter these now by date, by folder, or even the ones that are most accessed. So it really brings you a more customizable way of working and searching the information you do. Once again, never actually having to leave Bluebeam Revu. If just so you guys know, it's worth mentioning that we actually have direct integrations into document management systems like ProjectWise and SharePoint. And I know Sudesh was saying that it's to kind of mention that we do have plugins to AutoCAD, Naviswork, Revit, SolidWorks, SketchUp. So it really becomes intuitive to all the other projects you're working on or information that you guys require. So I have a floor plan, which I'm sure you guys are kind of used to seeing on a day-to-day basis. A couple of ways. So the first thing I want to cover with you guys is the markup tools. Two words that I'd like to leave with you guys, and I know I use them quite often, is they're very intuitive, meaning they're easy to use, and they're very, very customizable. So they can look and feel exactly how you want to do. Again, when it comes to sharing them or having to use these again, at a later stage, I'll show you how easy that is too. So we can access markups from the command bar in the top. As soon as I click command bar, you can see the multiple tools that we have available to you guys. So the text, pen, lines, shapes, etc., sketches, images, cameras. Again, camera, we do have a iPad version that you can collaborate with. If you're on field, you can actually drop images onto the drawings and take pictures if that's something that you're looking to do. Hyperlinks, etc., is also available. Now, there are three ways to actually access these markups or any tool in Revu. Let's start with the markup. So in the top right, left-hand side, as I've just showed you guys, when you hover over a feature, you'll see, or not even hover over, you'll see here there's a T or a Q or a W. It's actually just a shortcut. So if you're on a drawing and I clicked on T, you'll see that I can actually drop a text box exactly where I need to do. Without actually having to click too many buttons. Another great feature, and the right click in Bluebeam Revu is a great friend again. It brings you parts of the application that you need access to straight away. So I've had this massive text box on my drawing, but it's too big. So with one click, I can just kind of automatically resize. And for you, the guys that know, if you guys are doing manual markups, then you may not be at this stage. But if you guys are using an application to do these markups, having big text boxes all over the drawings do become difficult. The third way to access these is just on the right-hand side here. Again, the text box, typewriter tools. We have erasers and highlighters if that was something that you guys were looking to use. It can be, and one thing that I'll show you very quickly on this highlighter tool is, although you saw me just there kind of freestyle with a highlighter, Revu is actually intelligent enough to pick up any information that I'd like to highlight. So if I wanted to highlight this information here, it's as simple as that. So it's very intuitive and allows you to pick up any information you want automatically. So I'm going to start by showing you one of our featured kind of main markups, and it's the one that's probably used all the time. And you guys probably, if you don't use it electronically, you guys are definitely using it on paper or with a highlighter, is a cloud. Now, I can draw a cloud over any bits of information that I wish. I can draw you a couple of clouds, and it's simply as easy as kind of just dragging and dropping clouds on your document whenever you wish to bring attention to. Now, you can right-click on these clouds to bring you to the Properties tab, which will open up on the left-hand side here, right-hand side here, sorry. And this really allows you to edit the custom features or custom appearances of these clouds. So I'll go ahead and use, let's say, a turquoise color for the kind of overside of the cloud, and I'll fill it with a green color. Be sure to use this highlight button because it kind of brings back the underlying information on the document. You can add hatches to these if that's something that you're looking to do, and you can also change opacity just to make sure that it's something that you guys, or the fill opacity, sorry, so you can change the actual depth of the color that you guys are using. So again, very, very easy to change the style and the appearance of these markups that we guys are using. We have something called a call out. Again, if I was bringing some attention to this toilet, I don't want to use 3 different features in Revu. I can just drag a line and say, please spec this toilet. Again, not only the cloud is customizable, but the actual call out is customizable. So if I then wanted to go in and add a fill color, so I'm just gonna go and add a fill color there. I can add that fill color and make it look how I kind of want it to look. Another great feature in Bluebeam Revu, along with all these markups, is a markup itself. Is actually, we have something called an image markup. Now, images are great because it allows us to show you guys exactly what you guys are looking for in the information that you're looking for. So if I very quickly just go into my documents, I do have some document files that I can kind of use. Images, here you go. So I've got some images that I'd like to drop. So I want to drop this glass partition into this floor plan here, just to kind of explain what information that I'm asking for, using for. And this really becomes intuitive for people to really see what I'm talking about. So I've dropped this image on here. Again, I can use my markup tools to really show what information that I'm looking for. And then again, I can use these markups all together, but I'm just showing you how we can use these individually if it was something that you guys are looking to do. We also have a spell check. Again, something that allows you to really make sure that the quality of work you're doing is at a high standard. And this is great because it allows you to drop images, but if you guys are using multiple images, the document naturally will get cluttered and kind of really heavy. So we have a feature in Revu called a capture feature. So I've asked for this toilet to be spec'd. Now, if I actually wanted to add some images to this markup itself, I can actually right-click this. Just going to go into this markup. And we have a feature called capture. Now, if you're on field, the fantastic thing is it actually allows you to capture from field. So I'm just going to show you if this works. My computer is a bit slow, but so I'm on a computer at the moment. I'm just going to give you guys a high five. Don't have an option, but to reuse that. And what you'll see now is if I then wanted to go and capture and go from file, I can actually add multiple images, and these can be easily selected through Windows Explorer. Within a couple of seconds, they'll kind of upload and save. And what this will do is actually give me, instead of cluttering my whole drawing, it'll give me a little preview button of a camera. And now the fantastic thing is once I have that loaded and opened for you guys, I can actually go through these images one by one and really have all the information that I want in one place. We also have in Revu the measurement tools that I'd like to very quickly show you. Now we have several measurement tools, and we do offer more customized in-depth training if you guys would like to use these features and know how these guys work. But we have a length, an area, a perimeter, diameter, etc., and these are very easy to use. Once again, all we need to do is calibrate the drawing. Now, calibrating the drawing is very simple. You only need 2 points of 2 measurements to be able to calibrate this drawing. You can do it manually if that's something that you're looking to do as well. I'm just going to very quickly show you how easy it is to do this. Computer's just gone a bit funny. So it's going to ask me, what is this measurement? So 8 inches, 11 feet. Okay. Just going to double check that now, that has worked. And as you see now that my drawing is totally calibrated. I can even kind of hold shift and move these markups to the side if you see that it's covering the underlying content. So now that I have my drawing collaborated, I can very easily drop lengths. Just going to show you a couple of examples. I can choose the area. So if I wanted to kind of choose this room, I can actually just draw by holding down the left button a full area measurement, and it gives me the full square footage. Or I can, if it's not just squares that I want to measure, I can just single click. Apologies. Single click on the corners. Just copy this. And allows me to work out the square footage. So if you guys are doing measurements or takeoffs by hand, Revu includes all the tools you need to prepare your bids if you are doing bids by up to actually 70% faster. I won't go too much into these, but again, they're very useful, and there is so much more you can do with these tools. But again, just want to make sure I cover all the features that we need to. While we are on the measurement tools, we have something called a search tool. Again, very, very useful. You can search by text if it's text documents or PDFs even, sorry, and visual searches too. Very simple, very easy to do that. I'm going to give you a quick example and show you how that's done. So within a couple of clicks, if I just obtain a rectangle, it'll allow me to draw a rectangle over what I'd like to search for. So I'm just going to search the toilet as an example, and it's just going to give me a little preview. One of the fantastic things is I can cover the current documents, all pages, folder structures if that's something that I wanted to do. And we have a sensitivity bar. So what you'll notice in this drawing is that we have, for example, a disabled toilet here and normal toilets here, and I really want to be able to pick up all of these. So I'll then kind of go away and play with these sensitivity options. And if I just search through this document, what you'll notice within a couple of seconds, it'll actually pick up all these, should pick up all these toilets for me, having to, or preventing me from being so unproductive and manually counting the number of toilets that are on a floor plan. And if there's thousands of floor plans you're covering, you can imagine the time that you guys are using with work that can really be done with a couple of clicks. So I'm just waiting for that to load. As I said, I am on a Wi-Fi at the moment in our Wii workspace, so it could be slightly slower than normal. But if you are connected to a kind of hardwire, it kind of seconds, 5 to 10 seconds for this to this process to complete.
At the bottom of the page, you can see the count going, which is showing 71% right now.
Fantastic. Yeah, so that's another point. So it's showing 72%. And I'll wait for a few more seconds. If that doesn't kind of work, we'll kind of move on. But again, it's something that's really, really useful in Revu, and I can send you guys Sudesh. If you want me to, I can, at the end of the demo, what I can do is I can maybe put together an email for you with all the features that we've spoken about, so some videos, and then you can share them with these guys, and they can look through them at their own time.
Absolutely.
Fantastic. Okay. So I'm going to kind of just move away from that because it's taking a little bit longer than normal. But I kind of move on to the next thing, and while that loads, I'll just very quickly ask David. David, has there been any questions? Are you guys all good and okay with any questions that have come up? Or
No questions have come in on the chat box yet, but maybe we'll just pause for a second here and just so everyone who's watching, if you have any questions about anything that Pratik has covered so far, just type your question into the chat box now and we'll try and answer them for you. So maybe we can just pause for a second and give people a chance to do that.
great.
Almost there's 96% now.
Yeah, and guys, as I said, I can reassure you that this normally takes kind of 10 to 15 seconds. And yeah, fantastic. It's just worked now. So it's actually even generating a preview for me. And what you'll see in the bottom right-hand side now is actually found all the toilets that I needed to do. And great, this is giving me a preview, but how do I know where they are if there's thousands of pages? So we actually allow you to, using our apply count feature, we allow you to highlight the checked. So one of the things I would do first is check all of these. So you'll see a little red tick box, and then I'll actually apply a highlighter to each of these toilets. Now, this is very accurate, and remember, the sensitivity bar is something that you can play with. So if I went in completely low, I'm very sure it would have picked up every single toilet in there. And if I went high, it probably would have missed out the disabled toilet. So one of the things I would advise is when you guys are using this, kind of something that I didn't really do, just to show you as an example, is really zoom into the information that you want and then obtain the rectangle. Great. So now moving on to the markups list. Now, you can see all this information is great, right? But if I want to share this information, if I want to see who said what, when they said it, it becomes really tricky to kind of see on this drawing. So using this bottom blue panel, once I kind of open it up, we have something called a markups list. And the markups list provides a powerful tracking and reviewing tool within Bluebeam Revu. So now that I've opened up my markups list, and you can think of the markups list as your best friend when it comes to tracking all the markups and their associated properties throughout the documents. So just like Excel, you can actually adjust these columns. You can remove them and add them, and you can even filter. So you can take these on and off, and there are generic columns that have already been set up for you, which is fantastic. You can actually even go one better, and you can create custom columns. So this is where it becomes really, really useful. If you guys are looking to, again, use Revu to do measurements and to really offer the service of adding bids to your work, you can really do this 70% quicker by adding formulas to these custom columns, just like Excel spreadsheet, to figure out costings or the square footage that's required, and any other information that you're looking to do. Just like Excel, you can customize these columns to work exactly how you guys want to. So what you can see, as I said, it's kind of saved the author, the time, the date, and all the information that someone would want to really find out who said what when. Within just a couple of clicks, you have full access to these. I can also create a summary or a task list. So on these markups, I can actually go ahead and set a status as accepted, rejected, and cancelled, etc. I can always you go to my custom columns and create this markups list to work as a task list to allow customers or allow the employees within your organizations to really take responsibility for the work that they're looking to do, and then sign these off and tick this for approved, rejected, cancelled, something that you guys can do all collaboratively through Bluebeam Revu. I wanted to share. Yes.
Sorry, just to stop you. A question came in. It's more of just a general question.
Sure.
From someone attending, they asked, so how does the licensing work? So, for example, if you're an architect using Revu, is there a way you can, and you want to share a document with a contractor or a consultant or something? Is there a way to give them guest access to review, or do they need separate licenses? How does that work, and how would they get around that?
Fantastic question. Yeah, that's really a great question, and it's something that we will cover in the next kind of 15 minutes. But just so you know, you can give them access to the work that you need them to, or the documents you need them to. They can come and collaborate with you without actually having to own a license. So if you yourself has a single license of Bluebeam Revu, you can actually invite up to 500 people to collaborate with you at one time without having to actually own the license, and all the features in Bluebeam Revu become available to them just because you have a license.
Cool, that's great. Thanks, Pratik.
All right.
Yes, just to add to that is a tool called View, which is a free viewer, and that allows you to the participants to access your drawing and do the markups and everything that you're seeing in that session only. So they can participate with you without owning a license of Bluebeam and be productive.
Yes. So again, all the information in my markups list and in my document can be shared with a CSV file, a PDF summary. So I'm just going to pull out a PDF summary for you guys. I'm just going to append to the current PDF so it links this extra document to the PDF. And I can then go and share this information. And this might take a little bit of time, but I might just skip this for now simply because it is taking a bit of time and I don't want to kind of waste too much time because we've got to cover some features. But that PDF summary will actually be hyperlinked. So again, Sudesh, what I'll do is I'll forward you something that you can send to your customers so they can see how that works. But the great thing is it's a single PDF document that's appended to the drawing, and each of them kind of statuses or each of them lines in that summary are originally hyperlinked to that drawing. So if you click on one of the markups in that summary, it takes you back to the original drawing, exactly where it is, and it shows you who said what when they said it. One thing I want to cover quickly before we move on to something called Studio, which is the question that we've raised, is our fantastic feature called Tool Chest. Now, guys, really, this is where the magic starts to happen. So, you know, when we are talking about collaborating, speeding up communication, standardizing, minimizing your rework, increasing productivity, this is really where we start to kind of help this. So this can be found through tab access. Again, just clicking on Tool Chest, or you can actually just find the golden Tool Chest in the left-hand panel. And what you'll notice is in my recent tools, what you'll notice is as I've been placing the markups that I've been using, including images, including clouds, it's actually been saving all these markups and their properties. So the image that I've dropped earlier, I can just, with one click, kind of bring this back out. If I was to use the, just frozen on me again. If I was to use the call out that I'd used earlier, I can use it again, you know, really minimizing the rework, never having to recreate the wheel of tools and your custom markups over and over again. And as I said, that's where the magic starts to happen, where you can actually start to create your own library of tools. So again, this is very easy to do. You can manage your tool sets by simply importing or exporting if someone sent one to you, or even just adding a brand new one. So I'm going to say demo 1 is the name of my tool chest. I'm just going to tool set, sorry, I'm just going to save that. And as you see now, it's appeared on the left-hand side. So every time I want to save a markup to this, it's very easy for me to do so. I can just kind of drag and drop these tools, these markups into here, and have to reuse these over and over again without having to worry about recreating these. So I'm just going to, now that these are saved, I can, you know, just use these with the same specs and same properties over and over again. And this becomes very useful if you are marking up on drawings and you have different people collaborating with you at the same time. You know, especially in construction, you do your markups by hand, you print them out, you scan them, so you scan them, You put them in the computer, you send them, now they print them out, and then they do their own markups manually. It really becomes a crazy way of working when you can simply use markups and standardize the markups in Revu with just a few clicks. Many of our customers are using this to create custom color-coded tool sets. So it's easy to visualize the differences on the drawings from specific disciplines. So we have architects using a particular color, or an engineer or a contractor using another field, another color. Or even if it means that different people on projects are using different colors on project teams, these can be tied to profiles. So you can have a tool set that is tied to a profile that you can share with someone. So Revu is ready to go when you need it to. And this, for me, sometimes when we are demoing the product, we show some of the more advanced features. But for me, what I really wanted you to do is see the real benefits of using Revu at such a level where increasing your productivity is huge. Just two more things that I want to cover with you guys. One of them is our Bluebeam Studio platform. So I'm just going to close these down so it's kind of easy for you guys to see the application and where we're going. So I'll cover the studio session, Bluebeam Studio. So Bluebeam Studio comes in two parts. Studio Sessions, which is a cloud-based document collaboration application for you to access from the cloud anywhere at any time. And we have something called Studio Projects, which is a cloud-based document sharing and management system straight in Bluebeam Revu. So Studio can, again, everything can be found through tab access or Studio on the right-hand panel. As a host, as I mentioned to the gentleman earlier, as a host with a registered copy of Bluebeam Revu, I can invite up to 500 attendees. Very easy to start a Bluebeam session simply by clicking Start New Session, giving it a name. Again, one of the great things, I'm in full control of what's happening, who's allowed to do markups, who's allowed to save these documents, who's allowed to print them. So me as a contractor, I'd like my engineer or my architect to come and mark up on my work. I can even set a session expiry date, and in the email that gets sent to them, inviting them, they'll say, hey, Mr. So-and-so has invited you to do some markups or collaborate together, and these are the dates and times that you need to do this by. So you can really start to have full control and visibility of the work that's going on around you. So very easy again to set that up. But I'm just going to join a session because we have one already set up for demos. And I think David, maybe David's not on this one. David, are you on this session with me just now?
Yeah, if you just go into the, yeah, that's the one. I'm in here.
I've got it. So now all of a sudden I've got a document, and it's very easy to add documents simply by just clicking this add file document here. You can add up to 5,000 documents. I have a document that's open in front of me just now. So David, I'm just going to open up this first floor plan reference that if you can get onto. So now I'm on this floor plan, and as you can see, David is working with me in real time. And David, if you don't mind just dropping a couple of markups on here so the folks can see exactly how collaborative this is.
Yeah.
David is working on this document, and we can in real time see clouds that are being dropped and markups that are being completed. And through this kind of records and notification section, I can see what information he's using and where he's kind of marking up. So if I clicked on this, it'll take me exactly to the markup David's just left for me. And he's maybe asked me to check this door, in which case if I want to check this door, I can do all the work I need to do. I can even do my own markups. Kind of even to his markup, I can right click, reply in my markups and say, David, this looks all good. And he will then receive a notification. Again, if he's not logged in or has access to internet, as soon as you go onto internet, it kind of syncs it back. But David's now got full access to what's happened and what I've said, and again, have access to it straight away. You can invite up to 500 attendees, And as I mentioned earlier, that they don't even need to have a license. As Sudesh mentioned, that all they need to download is our Bluebeam View product, which is a free PDF viewer. And once you provide them the information, such as this demo session ID, they can kind of walk in and have all access to the information they want. Another great feature in Studio itself is a feature called Follow Attendee. So you see these two little footprints now. I'm sure, I don't know what you guys call it in South Africa, but we have a program in the UK called Big Brother. I think it may be called the same, but actually allows you to, or allows me to follow attendee and each individual footstep on the document as we go along. So I've just clicked on follow attendee, and now I can watch David in real time collaborating on this project with me, on this document with me, and kind of checking out what markups he's doing, or what reference or information that he's asking me to kind of advise on. Very easy to just kind of leave that just by clicking escape. Again, one of the great things about Bluebeam Revu and Bluebeam Studio is that we do allow the administrator to set the permissions. So you can have full control over, again, who can save, who can print, who can mark up. You can have passwords associated through it. You can always make sure that you have this records area on the right-hand side that really gives you the information that you need if you ever need it to be tracked, and it gives you full accountability. With the markups list, something that I should mention, very important, I can't actually go ahead and move someone else's markups. So David can't move mine and I can't move his, but I can still continue to move any markups that I've completed. So I'm just kind of trying to move this, and I can't because it's something that David's left on there. And the markups list, again, still tracking all the information, who said what, when they said it, what the comments were, what the status is, has it been rejected, has it been accepted. Again, through a summary report, you can export this and share this. You can also create a minutes report. So, as if you were together in real time in a meeting room, and all the information that you've been talking about has not been saved anywhere, right? But with Revu, you can actually record and create a PDF package that will include all the information that's been discussed in this record section. Again, just very quickly, is if I don't have internet connection, I can work totally offline. When I go back online, it'll automatically, in fact, if I'm working offline, it'll show me in the pending area what's pending. When I go back online, it'll show me that these have all been completed. Once I finish these files or reviewing these files with the people that I need to, the session can remain open if that's something that I'm looking to do. I can finish this session, in which case it'll email me all the information I need, or I can keep the session open if that's something that I want just for future reference. There's no time or date if that's something that you want to set.
Yeah, just to add here as well, Pratik, like it's so easy to invite someone to a session. Like there's a email function, and like the customer was asking earlier, you don't actually have to be a Bluebeam subscriber to be able to join a session, which is a really cool feature.
Yeah, so invite, again, just like adding documents, inviting attendees is very simple. You can invite through your address book multiples, or just copy and paste multiple email addresses in this section here. Sorry, in this section here. And you can even put a message on there to say, hi, Mr. Contractor, can you please review these files by X amount of days or X amount of time? And they'll receive an email with the information that that you require for them to have. Projects, very quickly, just want to give you a very quick overview on this. Cloud-based document management system. So if you guys are using Google Docs or anything else, you can actually then use Revu to allow you to manage the documents, kind of preventing you in having the same document in different places. You can access projects or studio projects again through the blue icon, and then a studio projects. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to very quickly open up a studio project session that I've already have open. And what you see here is I actually have my full folder structure available to me and whoever else I want to come and collaborate on this document. without having to leave review. Now, one of the great things is that it actually allows me to manage my documents in the most efficient way. I don't want multiple files kind of, lingering around the business. And what this allows me to do as the administrator, allows me to set the permissions that I need for individual folders or even individual files if I want to go that deep. I can hide folders. I can give access to just view only or kind of edit. I can also give each user, I can actually create user groups if that's something that I wish to do. So this is a great way to kind of control who has access to each folder, allowing users to have access to these files. For example, you guys might be using project, and just like project, it allows you to set these different permissions. But now I can set up one master project and invite everyone to create, kind of instead of everyone creating multiple files, globally, we can actually work on one kind of platform through review and again, do the rest of the work that we've done directly through review. We have a great feature in this project which allows me to check in and check out. So if I have a file checked out, no one else can come out, no one else can kind of go into my project and then try to check out that file and do any work. So if I check this file out, do all the markups and all the RFI information that I need to do, check it back in. Once I check it back in is the only time someone else can kind of have access to that and continue their work. Again, revision history is something that you can track through Studio projects as well. But we can go further into this. Again, Sudesh, what I'll do is I'll follow up with an email giving them some videos as to how they can really start to use these features in review, okay?
So Pratik, can I just add something to that?
Sure.
Okay. We have a gentleman here in Pumalanga. He has used the project along with the sessions and also the set features of combining the hyperlink and the bookmark to create a library of 2,000 drawings where
Sure.
he can give access to people. They can just go to the bookmark, click on it, and be able to access the things. And it was quite easy that he did everything on his own with very little guidance from us. And it's just a fantastic reference. I mean, 2,000 drawings completely cataloged and be able to share, because you can share the project files in your sessions, right?
Yes,
so
you can actually.
It doesn't have to have multiple locations of the same files, and he has complete history and a log of what has been done. And as you earlier showed, he's able to track and everything that individual users have done. So I think that is a fantastic reference for what this particular tool can do on your project site.
Most definitely. And based on what he's just said, I mean, I know I've only got 5 or 6 minutes, but I'll show you very quickly a feature review that is quite useful based on what Sudesh has just said. Now, we all receive documents that have multiple pages. So this is a kind of document that has 65 pages, and I'm just going to very quickly go to my thumbnails page, where as you can see, I've got different page labels for every single feature, every single page. Now, again, excuse me for this being a little bit slow, and it might take some time to load. And if I can't actually cover this and show you, I can definitely send you some links. But page labels, we have a feature in review. If this just works, it might just not. But we have a feature in review that actually allows you to create page labels. So we all receive documents that have multiple pages, but there's no real kind of distinct, specific page labeling process. And I know from experience that I speak to customers that have to go through manually, kind of clicking on a page, changing this to page 2, changing this to page 3, etc., etc. And that could take forever. So in review, we actually allow you through the automatic page label, and we do allow you to do this in multiple different ways, is actually create your own page labels. Now you can create your page labels simply by using an area found on the PDF itself. So I'm just gonna, for this example, very quickly show you, because I know we've got a few seconds, select a area or page region. So I'm just gonna click around, and you can click multiple areas of the page if that's something that you're looking to do. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask my automark feature to go and look at every single page that has something in that area and automatically create page labels for me. So what it's going to do, it's going to again ask me to create them on all 64 pages. So again, this might take a little bit of time, but within a couple of clicks, and I would love to show you this if this works, Sudesh, I'm sure you've seen it, is that this is actually going to relabel all these pages for me within a couple of clicks, not having to go through manually changing, the A and the B to C 1.15, automatically adjust them for me and create them for me. Again, Sudesh, what I'll do is I'll make sure I kind of cover this in a follow-up email for you.
Give it a few seconds, it will be done now.
Yeah, sure.
I also wanted to add that if any of you have any questions, I would be more than happy to do private sessions, just the same way that you're seeing here. You just give me a call, and if I'm available at that time, or we can set up a time and 15-20 minutes of sessions to any of these features, we can just do a one-on-one session, or a group of people that you are at your site, we can also do that for you. So here we go. We just get all of these things, and the same way you can do hyperlinks. There's a bunch of other batch processes that you can do, including stamping all your drawings. So there's quite a bit of things that you can do that we obviously cannot cover everything in an hour.
Yeah, Sudesh is dead right. We can use this principle of, again, really minimizing your work and speeding up the work that you guys are doing with our automated features in Bluebeam Revu. And this is just one of the many features. So what you'll see now is that this is actually labeled within one click, every single floor plan, just how I wanted it to kind of label. And that saved me, someone once told me that they spend 4 hours a day doing this for all their project managers. Now, with the use of Revu, they've saved 3 hours of their time. Their 4-hour work now takes 40 minutes. So can you imagine, if you had 30 people or 40 people doing this, how much time and money you guys are saving? Very quickly, Sudesh, do you want me to very quickly cover the compare docs? I know we don't have time.
Please, do the compare doc here.
Fantastic. So we have a feature, another feature that I really, really like called compare docs. Now, compare docs, I'm just going to open up these files very quickly. Just close these down. So what you'll see me do just now is I've actually opened up 2 floor plans, an original floor plan, and I've also now got a Rev 1. And what I really want to show you is how easy we can make some of your workflows. So I'm sure some of you guys have to compare documents and kind of go through the information that you guys are looking to do. So I'm just going to, again, as I mentioned earlier, we could split the screens and compare these, and we could then even sync. So we have a feature called sync, where if you have 2 screens open, you can actually sync the document. And if I kind of hovered over to a different area of the floor plan, it'll actually take me to that. But one thing that in Revu we allow you guys to do is actually use our feature to compare this. So we can actually allow you to overlay pages. So if you send out a document to your architect, your contractor, your engineer, and you receive markups all individually, you can actually overlay the pages, see the differences, see the information that's on them if you want. But let's say for this instance, we just want to compare the document. So we have compare our original plan against our Rev 1. Again, it's allowing me to split screens automatically. So I'm just going to, within a couple of seconds, rather than spend, I don't know, 45 minutes or maybe never, getting the accuracy or the information that I want. Within a matter of a couple of seconds, what you see here is that Revu has actually automatically not only split the screens and synced the documents for me, but they've actually found the differences for me. So if I have someone that's made a difference, and if I've done a bid and something's been changed, I haven't seen it, within a couple of clicks using compare documents, I can actually check for the differences in Bluebeam Revu, and we can see that these extra rooms, additional rooms have been removed from this area of the floor plan. Again, these have now been saved as differences on the markups list, which can be shared. So I'm going to very quickly show you, because there's only a few on here. It should work. So I'm going to show you a PDF. Yeah, I'm going to do a PDF summary very quickly. And again, I can send this to someone, and they don't have to have Bluebeam Revu if they're using Adobe, if they're using Nitro. The PDF is still going to be very, very intuitive. So what you'll see here now is I've actually got my markup summary with all the information I need, the difference, who the author was, when they did it. And if I click on this, it actually take me back to the original drawing and show me exactly where the markup is, which is really fantastic, because you're not kind of looking around for the markup, let alone the differences. And that's just, again, one of the many, many features that I could have potentially showed you. But yeah, so unfortunately, we have run out of time today. Sudesh, I think next time we might need 2 hours. The fantastic thing is that we had 9 attendees at the start, and we had 9 attendees now, which is great news, which means that you guys, I'm sure, enjoyed this, or I hope you did anyways.
So I just wanted to mention one thing. I know we don't have time to show it, but typically in a workflow, you have multiple people marking at the drawing. So there's an architect, and there's an engineer, there's a contractor. They're all working on their same drawings, but their own version of it. You can pull all their markups into the markups list, and you can combine all the markup, and then you can print out the PDF report that Pratik just did. And that will basically combine all the markup from your different constituents that were working there.
Correct. So as Sudesh said, we have something called import comments. So me, if I wanted to send out this drawing to Sudesh and to David for them to do their own markups, and I'm doing my own markups, I can actually, once they send them back, import these comments and flatten them all onto one PDF. So now, even though they've done it in different times, different time zones on different documents, I can still allow them to appear on one PDF document and really standardize and squash all that information together in one local place.
I think that wraps up. If there are any questions, we'll be more than happy to answer. And thank you very much again for taking your time. And we're going to be having 2 more sessions. One is more details on the estimation and takeoff. So we'll actually do the area measurement. We'll have values for RAN values for carpets or floorings and tiles and all that stuff. So you can actually see how that works, similar to Excel, basically. And then you can export that to Excel and attach to your bid document. We've done the similar works with specialty contractors, especially the HVAC contractors, lighting contractors, looking at the number of lights and so on and so forth. So that should be another interesting session. And there's a session, which is the next session on September 6th, which is a more detail into the Bluebeam Studio. Thank you again for all your time, and we look forward to speaking to you again.
Fantastic. Thank you, Sudesh.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Cheers. Bye-bye.